Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! Here goes the mother! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
We need if we can survive!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, back at it for a very special episode of In The Kliq. And as you all know, I love All Elite Wrestling, and I cannot wait to watch AEW Dynamite's big anniversary show happening this Wednesday, October 14th at 8 p.m. live on TNT, which is why I'm extremely excited to be talking to one of the stars of the AEW roster, former AEW Women's World Champion, Nyla Rose. How's it going, Nyla?
It's going good. You guys love to rub in that former, don't you? Ouch.
I know. I'm so sorry. But let's jump right into that. So listen, it's last month we saw current champion Sheeta. You guys had a stare down the ring. She had the kendo stick, and you and Vicky Guerrero were standing there. When can we expect maybe a potential rematch?
That is 100% on Sheeta. We've laid the groundwork. We've made our statements. We've made things known. So ball's in Sheeta's court now.
Okay, awesome. I love hearing that. And so, listen, we appreciate you calling in today. Next week, AEW Dynamite's going to have their big one-year anniversary. Wednesday at 8 p.m. on, as Cody Rhodes has said, the greatest network on cable, TNT. I'm looking forward to that. But before we get into that, I just want to recap last night's episode of AEW Dynamite so much. Of course, it was the big celebration of Chris Jericho's 30 years in pro wrestling. So much happened. His segment at the end of the show. We also saw Cody Rhodes in a dog collar match with Brody Lee. I saw you at the very end come out for like the SNL style of ending credits there. So just last night, how would you sum up the whole show? Was there any like particular highlights you want to share? Was there like an after party as well?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Someone who grew up as a fan of Chris Jericho, just getting to see and be a part of that energy, that celebration, that was really cool. Like there was a lot of memories of my fandom, if you will, of watching Chris Jericho from the rafters, from the stands, not the rafters, it's like way above, from the stands, and then to like just kind of put it all in perspective that now I'm backstage with him. I talk to him. I pick his brain every once in a while when he's not super busy, because as you can imagine, he's a really busy guy. But just to have someone like that who's looking to guide the next generation of stars. Hopefully, 29 years from now, we can be looking back and celebrating the 30 years of Nyla in AEW.
Absolutely. I am a big fan of your work so far in AEW in the last year and a half. So, but just touch on real quick with Le Champion, a.k.a. the demo god, Chris Jericho. Has he particular given you like any advice or any wisdom in your last year and a half of working together that you want to share with us?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like I said, he's got such a brilliant mind for this business, and just for entertainment and business. Bottom line, anytime I can, if he doesn't seem too busy, I'd love to grab him and say, hey, what did you think? How can I improve? How can I be the best me? How can there be 30 years of Nyla from now?
Yeah. No, he's definitely one of a kind, super nice. I've definitely here in the Bay Area. I go on the air and joke around that he's my celebrity best friend because every time he comes to the Bay Area, we always make it a point to hang out together. So no, Chris is such an awesome dude. In and out of the ring. So last night was just so much fun. But another person that has become like a friend of this radio station, and to be honest, one of the nicest people I've ever met is Vicky Guerrero. And in last couple months, the two of you have come together. Vicky is now your manager. So I'm just curious, how did that partnership come together?
Oh, you kind of like put it there in a nutshell. Like you just gravitate towards Vicky. Mm-hmm. And ironically, bringing it back to Chris Jericho, last year on his Jericho cruise, which, by the way, is an absolute blast. If you ever get the opportunity to do that,
yeah,
I implore you. It was my first cruise. I have nothing to compare it to, but I will go on a limb and say it was the best cruise in the world. But I met Vicky on the cruise, and we instantly connected. We had a vibe there. I asked her, some advice, basically, and she kind of got in my ear a little bit about some things, and I was like, you know what if I could bring you in as my manager? And she was all for it. So having that ace in the hole after the debacle, as I like to call it, at Double or Nothing with Sheeta, mm-hmm. It was a nice chip to cash in.
Absolutely. No, Vicky, I've interviewed before, and then I got to meet her at a convention, and I told her who I was because we just talked on the phone, but she was like, oh my God, and gave me a big hug. She's so sweet. I said, she's just so awesome. I think it's really cool that the two of you are working together now. And then, you just reminded me, the Jericho cruise. Like, I've been wanting to go on there so bad. Is it true was it the bowling champion of the Jericho cruise?
I am the bowling champion of the 7 Seas. Thank you. We were in international waters where they all connect. I don't know if that's geographically accurate, but I'm going to go on a limb and say it is. Yes, I won the bowling tournament on the Jericho cruise, and therefore I am claiming my reign over all of the ocean.
Nice. I love that. And so looking back at the last year of AEW Dynamite's existence on TNT, and with your time in the company over the last year and a half since you signed, is there anything that you learned from being with the company and on this weekly cable television show that's made you a better performer?
Without a doubt. I'm going to go on a limb and say I'm probably the most annoying person backstage. I ask questions to the camera crew, to the production team. I've got like 1,000 questions about everything under the sun, just because I want to learn everything I can about this business for a multitude of reasons. But probably the main driving factor there is I'm not going to be able to be in the ring forever. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. But I do want to be a part of this business forever.
Yeah.
So learning how it works, the ins and outs, and every part of it is only going to help me now in the ring and help me later to kind of figure out what that next chapter is going to be.
That's very cool to hear. And I'm looking forward to see what else you can do in and out of the ring to support the business. That's so cool to hear. But let's focus on the women's division right now in AEW. And I know it's been a little bumpy start in the last couple months with some injuries and whatnot. But in recent time, I think it's been very cool that we've seen NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa make an appearance in AEW, including her match with Kushida at All Out. So where's just your thoughts on AEW working with other promotions and bringing in their talent?
On a personal level, I would absolutely love to see that. And I'm not an EVP, so I don't know what happens in those meetings or anything. My job is to go out and punch people in the face, and mm-hmm. I like to think I do it very well. So I'll leave those talks to those that be. But I would love to see, us working with other promotions. It's something that happens in Japan a lot, and I've always thought it to be such a wonderful thing, having all the women's promotions like Marvelous working together with Wave and Seedling and just Sendai Girls. They all kind of work together, and they put on these dream matches and these amazing shows. And I always wondered, why can't that happen in the U.S.? Well, I think we're starting to see that tone shift, if you will. Having Thunder Rosa represent the NWA was the first step, and I hope to see a few more.
Absolutely. No, I was a big fan of that, and I know there are always talks of doors opening up with other promotions. Even last night, we saw on Dynamite, Tanahashi from New Japan made an appearance and congratulated Chris Jericho. So a lot of fans like to mark out and be like, oh, the possibilities of this promotion working with that promotion. So I'm very glad to hear you say that. Me personally, I would love to see you maybe represent AEW and challenge for the NWA title on their turf. I think that'd be so cool. But the other great thing about AEW that I like is just a mixture, of course, the veterans, but all this upcoming talent as well. Is there anyone besides like Vicky or Chris Jericho that you really become like close friends with, and that's been kind of a great source of support and just insight for you?
Yeah, there's a few people. There's definitely a few people that come to mind. I'm going to keep the curtain closed on that, though. There's a few people backstage that I've really connected with, and they're really helping shape me, helping me become the best version of Nyla that I've seen in a long time, and therefore I can put out there for you guys to see as well.
Awesome. I look forward to that. So I know we're running short on time. I just want to touch on next week. So next week is the big 1-year anniversary show for AEW Dynamite. I know last night they announced a couple new matches. Cody defending the TNT Championship against Orange Cassidy. We have FTR against Best Friends. Miro and Kip Sabian are going to be in action. And, of course, Moxley defending the AEW World title against Lance Archer. So for everyone listening right now, is there anything else we can expect for next week's episode of AEW Dynamite?
Yeah, just expect those announcements to keep coming through. Anybody who's followed us online at AEW on Twitter, if you've been following the account, you know we throw out some crazy announcements at the drop of a hat. So you never know what's right around the corner. And Wednesday, October 14th, is going to be no different. It's going to be a hell of a party. We're just going to have a great time. You've already got such a stacked card already, and there's room for a few more.
Absolutely. Love hearing that. Nyla, listen, I know we're running short on time. I just want to thank you so much for making the time. Encourage all the listeners out there, follow you on social media. Also, I know you got the Cameo. Encourage everyone, check out your Cameo, your Twitch channel, Pro Wrestling
Twitch is launching.
Yeah, I saw that. You got a new handle, right? I saw that on the other day.
Nyla Rose Beast. Yeah, it's a little easier for people to find, and I'm actually hoping to get that running by this weekend. So keep your fingers crossed, and let's play a game or two, huh?
Absolutely. I'll definitely link it out there. And I might even get a cameo from you. I would love to have a personal message from you as well. So
God bless. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for making time, and I hope to do this again with you very soon, okay?
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to come back.
Thank you. Bye-bye. There you have it. Thank you again to the former AEW Women's World Champion, Nyla Rose, for being on the show. And even though she hates that phrase, hopefully she'll be back in the title picture very soon. And as I mentioned at the top of this episode, please tune in and watch AEW Dynamite's anniversary show this Wednesday, October 14th at 8 p.m. live on TNT. And since I recorded this interview, they have announced 4 title matches for this show, including Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against Lance Archer, FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships against Best Friends, Hikaru Shida defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Big Swole, and Cody Rhodes defending the AEW TNT Championship against Orange Cassidy. So it looks like it's going to be an action-packed show. So please tune in and follow AEW on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for all the latest updates. And as always, Philip from the Bulletcast and I will review this episode right here on In The Kliq. All right, Kliqsters, let's go home now. Remember to subscribe to In The Kliq on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and we're also on a ton of other major podcast platforms. Help the show out by rating, reviewing, leave a comment, and share the podcast. And also subscribe to In The Kliq's YouTube page. All of our show highlights can be found there. Also, please follow In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for @InTheKliq. And you can email us anytime at inthekliq@gmail.com. And once again, thank you for tuning in and for all the support. And that's the bottom line, because Huey said so.